So I know that right now most of my entries are really serious and yeah, kind of grouchy too, but let's put more content in and make it a little more fun because I could really just talk about anything I remember. So, a game I played a lot when I was a child was Super Mario 64, and there's a few things about it that I still remember to this day, and as I remember more things, I'll add to this. One of my favorite levels, my two favorite levels from that game were Wet Dry World and Hazy Maze Cave. Notably, they have the same music. And a level that I wanted to like, but I found it very disappointing, was Big Boo's Haunt. And I guess if I remember anything noteworthy, I'll bring it up about the other levels, but they seem pretty standard. Wet Dry World, notably, if you jump in at the bottom of the painting, the water level in the level is very low. If you jump in at the top of the painting, the water level is very high. And the atmosphere of Wet Dry World is kind of barren. There's just nothing but robots and bugs as enemies, and it just kind of has this empty sort of feeling of what looked like it was once a lively city because it's all colorful and it looked like people could live there, in the aesthetic design, but there's just robots and bugs. And notably, there is a section called Downtown. That is actually what it's called. And if you flood the level, you go to the downtown section of the level. It's a barren city. It's an empty city. It looked like people lived there, but there's nobody there except for some little robot things. That really makes you think. A city that gets flooded. And just another little thing I noticed about Hazy Maze Cave. It has an underwater lake that has basically a plesiosaur. Dinosaurs are fake, but they could have been based on something. It's easy to say they were based on dragons, but one of my favorite theories is that dinosaurs are actually based on machines like construction equipment or wrecking equipment. You know, if you've seen We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, there's a scene where a character is looking for the dinosaurs and she mistakes a bunch of machines like steam shovels and things like that for the dinosaurs. I thought that was very interesting. And while I'm speaking of children's cartoons from my childhood, The Last Unicorn, they had a scene that absolutely stuck with me where in The Last Unicorn, normal people cannot recognize magical animals for what they are, but wizards and witches can recognize magical animals. To normal people, a unicorn just looks like a plain horse. So a witch captures a unicorn and puts a fake horn on her and then puts her on display, and then people come and gawk and they have great big emotional reactions to seeing what is shown they are perceiving is a horse with a fake horn on it, but it's a unicorn with another fake horn. It's kind of complicated, so you might as well watch the movie yourself. It's a very well done movie, so it's worth watching. And the phrase that always sticks with me is, I had to put a fake horn on you so they could see a real unicorn. I used to wonder for years what that meant, but today I know what it means. You're gonna have to make some very long distant connections. It's pretty weird. Everything is very intertwined. Alright, back to Super Mario 64. So there's in Hazy Maze Cave, Underground Lake, Plesiosaur. In Pokemon Generation 2, there's a cave that has an underground section with a lake, and you find Lapras, who is based on a Plesiosaur, which is basically just an open source fake animal that anyone could use. You know, on DeviantArt, they're all like, this is my original species, don't steal, copyright me. Dinosaurs are fake species that are free use. Anyway, Big Boo's Haunt. I kind of like the idea of a haunted house, but I think that level was just dreary and not very good compared to the other levels, but there's something I strongly remember that used to kind of mystify me, and now I kind of wonder. There is like a little, I guess it represents an outhouse. There's no toilet models in the game, but there's a tiny little shed outside the mansion that has an elevator that takes you underground, and underground there's obviously a sewer, so I think that tiny shed represents an outhouse because sewer. And there is a brightly colored merry-go-round that plays clown music and spits out fireballs and ghosts. So, in this dreary, dark, gray, dingy level, there is this brightly colored merry-go-round playing clown music. I wonder if that has anything to do with child trafficking. It's just a thought. Anyway, I'll probably bring this up again later.